Hey, in this video I'm gonna show you how I turn a very basic dialogue into a real language learning material just using free plugins and tools available and a simple WordPress page. Okay, so first of all, what is the raw material? So a few years ago, I was working on my Russian website called Le Russe Facile for French speakers learning Russian, and I decided to write dialogues with the help of my Russian teacher to help French speakers learn Russian through dialogues. So this is the dialogue I had. So it's really basic. I wrote some sentences in English and I just asked my Russian teacher to translate them. First of all, a dialogue without sound is kind of frustrating for a lot of language learners. I mean, 2019, you want audio. So how did I implement audio for free without paying for voice like actors or not asking for a friend to record everything? I used a website called ttsmp3.com and they have a lot of voices, and so basically you can just take a line of text, let's take a nie za что, and we want to hear how it sounds in Russian with a female voice. So you see you have brackets before the name, you just specify the voice. I added something called a break time. This is a marker that will mark a pause. This is important to mark a pause sometimes in the middle of the sentence, so it sounds more natural, kind of like when you have a comma in the middle of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence when you have the full dialogue. So I just put these things together, download as MP3, and here you go. Voila, as we say in, what language is that again? Russian maybe. Yeah, so I downloaded the whole MP3. And I have it here. There are things in the dialogues that are quite interesting. Russian is more or less phonetic, so visually once you know the alphabet it's pretty helpful, but there is one thing that is important to see when you're learning Russian is which vowel is stressed, because it will change the pronunciation. So I have the vowels stressed in my dialogue. How did I do that? Well, it's very simple. I use another service called easypronunciation.com. Okay, so I will just take one sentence and I will put it in this thing and I will add the stress marks and as we say in French, вот. Yes, we have the stress marks here, as you can see, and now as a learner, I know that it's not tourist, it's tourist. Yeah. This website offers things also for phonetic transcription in Chinese, English, French, German, the stress marks in German, Italian, Japanese, Persian, Portuguese, Russian. It's very good. It's very good. I really like this website. Useful for a lot of language learners and language teachers. Okay, so I got the stress marks like that. The tonic accent, as we call it. For the translation, it was pretty simple. I translated myself. My dialogue was raw text, right? No formatting, nothing nice. And the first version I put on my website in 2017 was just pure text, and it was very ugly. So I changed it with bubbles. And so these bubbles are very cute, very nice, but they are just a plugin, just a WordPress plugin called Speech Bubble, and it does that. Basically, I stumbled upon this when I was looking for another plugin, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So now, the best part of the dialogue, according to me, like the part I'm really proud of, is this hovering feature. So you want to see the translation of individual words. So let me show you. Let's go over one thing, and I see that it's the tu means tu in French, which means you. Okay, and we will cover later this other information. Izvini means désolé, sorry. It means sorry. I'm not sorry. I mean, how did I do that? Well, very simple. There is another WordPress plugin that just allows you to have this hovering effect. And basically, I just had to format the text into something that shows the translation. Basically, the syntax for this thing, this file looks awful, but it's easy. For example, if I write something like in English, every time we see hello, I would have the translation in French, it will be bonjour. That's the syntax this plugin uses. And if you hover over it, you will see the translation or whatever you associated with it appearing. So what I did is I went a little bit further with this. My computer is crashing. I added the translations and I wanted to add the root of the word. So for example, when we have a conjugated verb, I want to know which verb it is. And that starts to be very interesting because this is not easy, as you might guess. This is not easy to have this. And I wanted to know the tense, the mood, if it's perfective, imperfective, and if which person it is. And to do that, I actually used Coda, and I just created a table with my Russian words. So I took them one by one. So I mean, like I did a bit of formatting before. I put them one by one. And then I used a library. So basically a plugin, something you can use just like in WordPress, you have plugins. In Coda, you have plugins. You add a column. And in this column, I have a formula. And this formula will use Google Natural Language. And what we want as language nerds is the syntax. So we want to analyze syntax and want to analyze syntax of the word. And so we just select the word and now it returns something. So when you see a Russian word, you want to know if Moskva, if the translation of Moskva is Moscow, well, a French speaker will assume that Moskva means Moscow. But no, Moskva is a form of Moscow. It depends on the case. So you want to know the case. And how do you do that? Well, now in this dialog, just hover over the word. What is Moskva? So first of all, first thing, IPA, exact pronunciation of Moskva. So now I know how to pronounce it. Moskva, and it means Moscow in French. And the root word is Moskva. It's a noun. And in this form, this is a feminine word and it's at the genitive case. And now we have all the grammar of the word just hovering over it. This is very useful. I wish I had that when I was learning Russian. Okay, so now for every line of this text, that was just a raw text, now we can know gender, person, root, noun, translation in French. When we hover, we have the audio and the crème de la crème, cerise sur le gâteau is when you actually select a word, you double click on it,
Москвы.
You have the sound. Or if you just click on the sentence,
Извини, ты из Москвы.
Or if you just click on part of the sentence,
Живу здесь.
You have the text spoken to you. So it's not only that you can listen to the line, you can also listen to the word. So to do this, I just used another API, it's free. It's called Responsive Voice. They also have a WordPress plugin that is awesome, but I couldn't do what I wanted to do with it. And basically they have a function when you hover over something, it just generates audio. And voila, you have it. You can turn any piece of content into something that is really interactive and works. So that's it for this first video. I hope it was interesting. I'm here to help. This is my job. I'm a developer, so this was something I did without programming. But if you have more complicated things, I can help you increase the value of your language course, language app, whatever it is, for your customer. And so together we can help millions of people learn the language they want. Okay, see you in another video. Salut!